So before we begin, I'd like to say that anything Pop the Balloon related will now all be under one channel. This channel.
Yep. So BM talks to them. It's a match. Any other show that may have segmented off from Pop the Balloon, it's all going to be on here underneath one channel. So you don't have to go searching all around YouTube. It's all going to be right here for you.
Yeah, and remember, make sure you subscribe. Let's get to that 1 million subscribers. Yeah.
So we're almost there, guys. Almost there.
All right. And remember, this is what it's all about. All right, welcome back to BM Talks to Them. So today we actually have something different, something new. We are going to start having some mini reunions from some episodes. So today we're going to start with episode 46. How is everybody doing today?
Welcome, guys.
Doing good.
Pretty good.
Okay.
Can't complain.
Y'all can smile. You know, you can look a little happy. Y'all look scared.
It's something new, man. Don't know what to expect, you know.
Right.
Okay. Yeah, so obviously I wanted to bring you guys on to speak about your episode, right? There was a lot going on. First, I want to ask you guys, what made you apply to come on the show? And also add, what difficulties do you have in the dating scene right now?
Okay.
Who want to go? I'll go first.
Yeah, go ahead, Ashley.
So I was honestly just messing around. I didn't think I was actually going to get picked. I was working, and on Facebook, I just took a break and I saw a viral moment, and I thought it was funny. I went to go watch it, and I watched it till the end, and I saw that Arlette, you said that there's a link below, and me and my trainer and like one of his other clients, we were all working out together, and I was telling them just about my dating and just how bad it's been, and so they were joking with me about going on the show. So when I saw that there was a link, I decided to mess around. I was like, oh, why not thinking I was actually going to get picked. And so when I did, I was like, oh, okay, well, what do I really have to lose? I'm not really dating anyone, so not talking to anyone, so why not try something different? I'm not on the dating apps anymore, so I'm different.
So what difficulties do you have in the dating scene right now?
LA is it's different. Like I said, I'm from Dallas, and so I'm used to just masculine men and like men that just kind of take lead of things. And so coming out here, you just have a lot of guys a lot of guys don't come, like, they're not coming out here for that. They're coming out here, most people are coming out here to chase a dream. A lot of people are coming out here to just really goal oriented. So that's more so what they're into and have the time for. And they're just really, really flashy. And I don't mind some flashiness, but like it's like so Hollywood out here. Or you have guys that are very feminine, just very sassy, or just really in their egos. Or you also just have a lot of just beautiful women. And so I think when you get in that mindset that you have so many options, that no one's really serious for real. So that's kind of been just some of the troubles that I've had. And I would date like even just men that I felt was of the same stature as me, and unfortunately they would be great, and then they would be like really disrespectful, or just really talkative. Like they would only it was never like a two-way street of just us having a conversation. It was always me just sitting there listening to them. And it was kind of like really all about them. So that's what I found myself just the just in the dating scene, and I just was like, okay, I'm cool.
Okay, so I have a question for you, Ashley. I know you said you kind of applied, kind of like not taking it too serious, but if you were to have matched, is that something you would have taken serious, or it was all just kind of like,
No,
for you?
I really am. Like I said, I am on the dating scene, and I know how I am. I slow pace like things, especially when it comes to relationships. I think it really takes a lot of time to get to know someone. So for me, like if I matched with someone, I would have taken the time to get to know that person.
Okay. Okay, cool. All right, let's hear from Ahmad.
Um. So, what was the first question? I was so
So it
listening to
was
what you were saying.
what
Oh, made
made
me
you
apply.
apply on
Okay.
the show? Uh-huh.
Man, I watch the show every week in the gym. I have a gym in Miami, and me and my clients watch the show every week. And I've been single for a while, and all the ladies in my gym been trying to get me to get a girlfriend. Trying to, all my family members trying to get me to get a wife, have kids. So every time we watch the show, they always get on me. Why you don't apply? Why you don't apply? I'm like, nah, man, I'm not gonna apply to go on a show. I don't know. I said I just feel like it wasn't a good look for me for my profession because I'm already in this type of world with women like that. I didn't want to go out there and just put that on my face like that. But one of the girls in the gym applied for me, and she told me she applied, and I was like, oh man, I was like, all right, cool, and I didn't think nothing of it. I really thought y'all were gonna hit me up. I didn't know she applied. I didn't know what picture she chose. She went on my IG and chose everything, and the assistant
Funny.
hit me up, and I was like, okay, my birthday coming up, I could use this as a trip before my birthday trip. I was like, why not? What's gonna hurt? So I decided just to get the flight and go out there. Like I said, I'm like Ashley. I've been single for a while, and then
Mm,
Miami's similar to LA. It's very superficial down here. Um, I want to have kids. I want to have a girl and all this type of stuff, but it's a lot of like I say superficial, a lot of fake things. Everybody's out here on this like I say entrepreneur scene. Nobody want to settle down. Everybody on this get rich quick scene, all this type of stuff like that. So I'm like, man, if I'm going to be serious about dating, I got to try to find different avenues. And I was like, why not? Let's go out there and see what can happen. What's the worst that can happen?
yeah.
Go out there and don't find love, and then get to see beautiful Arizona. So that's what it was for me.
Okay, okay. And what about for you, Jara?
Oh, so yeah, so I apply. Well, I watch the show often, and I apply, just to see if I would get selected. I was surprised to actually receive a response. I'm glad for the experience. And as far as dating goes, I mean, I would say nowadays, like men are just afraid of commitment, or maybe they just want to have a couple of females a couple of things on the side. Um, and I figured coming on a dating show that people were looking to be serious, like we're all coming with the same intention.
Mm, okay, okay. And Sean?
You can hear me, right?
Yes.
Okay. So I didn't really know too much about the show, besides like just clips, reels on IG or whatever. Um, and I had just kind of came out of something a few months prior to I guess when I got called or when I got signed up. But a friend also like told me about the show, and she was just like, "Yeah, I'm gonna sign you up. Like, it could be great. You never know, blah blah blah." So kind of similar to everyone else, I didn't really, excuse me, I didn't really expect to get chosen. It was just like, whatever. I kind of signed up, going out on a whim. So when I did get a call back, it was just like, oh wow, like this is kind of real. I didn't think it was real at first. I almost thought it was a scam, to be honest. But turns out it was just like, oh, like something could potentially happen. I really didn't know what to expect. Um, so I was kind of just going into it, with no expectations, but open to the idea of dating and kind of putting myself out there. This is like a real like different scale than something I've done before. So I I I feel like the other part of your question was what, like, the issues with dating. I feel like, uh, people are real temporary these days. So it's like, it's kind of hard to see like who's really trying to like be in it for the long run and things of that nature. So I think that's been the
Mm.
the biggest, I guess, difficulty for me. So.
Okay. And Kevin.
Hey, so yeah, I discovered the show towards the end of last year. I think I saw like a clip that went viral and then started watching the YouTube show. And I really just started getting into it in like November, December of last year. And I like the concept that you guys created. And I didn't think, especially since there's millions of people watching the show, I figured it would be tens, if not hundreds of thousands of applications. So I was surprised because I put in late December, and then I heard back towards the end of January. So I was actually doing some consultant work in Phoenix last year. So I told myself this year, wanting to travel more, that I was going to come back anyways. And then I already had travel booked. And ironically, when the production team hit me up, I just had to move my flight up a little bit. So kind of all aligned, and I love what you guys have built there. Did I fly out to the desert thinking I was gonna, meet my one? I mean, I don't know. I kind of went into it with a open heart and mind. But yeah, and then as far as the dating scene goes, so I live in DC right now. I've been here for a little bit over a year, and I was in Atlanta for 8 years prior to that. Um, People always say how the dating scene nowadays is kind of jaded. Personally, I've always had like good experiences where I had very quality women enter my life. It just ended for one reason or another. But when I first moved out here, it was just work essentially. And recently, in the last few months, I've been, now that I'm kind of, advancing in my career and that everything else is very steady, looking to hopefully meet someone that, I enjoy, our values align, and things like that.
Okay. Okay. Man, I must say, right, when you get selected to come on the show, it's you know, you are very lucky because there's a lot of people that apply.
Yeah.
A lot. I've narrowed it down now to about 12,000 people. And these people are the people that I can pick to go on episodes. So just imagine how much people are applying every day.
Mhm.
You feel me? So there, it's a lot of work that goes into this. So it's definitely a great thing for you to come on the platform to try to find love. So I want to start off by saying that this episode was fire, of course, right? I actually want to play a video. Let me actually play this video so we can all see this first clip and then we can speak about this.
Your name and age, and why did you end up popping your balloon?
Ahmad, 33. Um, just wasn't my type, and it's giving city girl vibes. You came out real hot out the gate, and you got these temperaments and these, these facial expressions and stuff like that. I just wasn't feeling it. Kind of young and immature to me, so yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Is he someone that's your type?
No.
Okay. Why not?
It's the nose ring and the earrings for me. It's a no.
Hey, everybody got,
Next.
Oh my. Okay. Let's go over
Wow.
here. Who we starting with?
First, let's start with Ahmad. Yeah.
Okay.
Let's start with Ahmad. Can you define what you mean by city girls?
So when I said that city girls thing, man, I deal with a lot of women like that down here in Miami, as you can, if you don't know. But when I said city girls, it's more about the attitude, about how they carry themselves. She came out, she had this energy. Even when before she even opened her mouth, I was looking at her like, why is she coming out like this? But I wasn't even gonna pop until she rolled her eyes. That solidified the whole thing for me. That the city girl attitude. Like it's like why are you why I couldn't understand like I said she can't we're here on that with an intent to come out here to date or trying to find somebody to date, right?
Mm.
So why come out with that type of attitude? That's what I was like. I could understand it, and I see this every day in my life down here in Miami, and I feel like especially in this day and age with social media and all this type of stuff like that, man. I feel like these women down here, well, like Miami, yeah, they need a reality check. So I don't know. It'd be crazy. It'd be crazy down here.
So, I mean, I know what it means to an extent, right?
Yeah.
But I'm trying to understand, like, do you think that every girl that acts like that is a city girl?
The attitude part of it, because like I said, I don't. When I said the city girl thing, it's the attitude. It was her. It was her attitude. The attitude she had when she came out. It wasn't necessarily saying she's a city girl. I didn't know anything about her.
Okay.
It's her attitude when she came out. I said
Oh,
the temperament
Okay.
she was giving, the facial expressions, all the type of things she was doing, being real extra.
Hmm.
That's like city girl stuff down here in Miami. That's ghetto girl stuff. Like that's just
mm,
too extra for what?
okay. Jara, we see your face. What was going through your mind during that time? I know it probably caught you a little off guard to hear that, but what was like your thought process during that time?
Yes, so it most definitely caught me off guard. I've never been labeled a city girl ever. You know, most people would say that I'm bougie, if anything. But the city girl label, it was funny to me because, you know, first of all, I'm from the country, you know, South Carolina to be exact. But if we're being real, you know, city girl, it can mean a lot of things. It can be used negatively, as Ahmad tried to do, but it can also mean, you know, successful business woman. So if rolling my eyes at drama makes me a city girl, then I guess standing on my standards does too. I just want someone that is respectful and ambitious, and that shouldn't be controversial.
If I can just briefly, Jara, I want to ask you a question. Like, watching that clip back, right? And that's the main thing that went viral. Once Xavier, he was the guy like second to last, popped his, right? You gave him like the side look, like if looks could kill type of look. And I think as to what Amat was speaking about, that made us, right? That gave that, call it what you will, that strong aura, presence, attitude, city girl vibes that made the rest of us pop immediately after. So I was just curious, like from the energy, because like when we all arrived from the gentleman's perspective, when we got on set, Alet BM sat us down and told us, be intentional. We're here to hopefully find someone to have a good time, but be intentional. Did you come on the show to actually hopefully find someone? Because I personally wasn't getting that from you.
Okay. Well, that's surprising. I did come on the show to find someone to find love. Although I didn't. So, yes, I hope that answers your question.
Ashley, what did you think about that segment?
I mean, you know, I it was spicy. It was definitely spicy. But I think essentially it was just the eye roll. I mean, just most men. I have a lot of guy friends, and they tell me all the time about their guard problems, and so just naturally off that, and a guy's listening to a guy's perspective, I knew once you guys cut in, because you know it's about the cuts too, right? So once y'all cut in on the eye roll, it was kind of obvious as to why everyone else popped. It just sucked because Jay is like a cool girl. Like when we were in the back, you know, we all had a good time. She's nice. You know, she just got a little bit more sass than most. So
Right, because I mean, the way she is, right? She's not a disrespectful person.
no, no,
You feel me? So I feel
no.
like this persona that people may have, people might think that they are this way, but they're really cool. Like the way she came out, people think that she was a bit over the top. But
Yeah.
what if that's just how she is? Right? Like speaking to her after the show, Ahmad, did you see any difference in her?
When we all hung out afterwards. I mean, she was still giving me some no, because she was upset with me, I guess still. So she wasn't very friendly with me. I tried to be nice to everybody. You know, like I said, I didn't mean nothing. It wasn't nothing personal. It just that's the energy I was getting. So, but yeah, she was still mad at me. So yeah, nothing really changed from that day, that whole night. But I did see her interact with everybody else. She did seem cool. She was more friendly with everybody else and stuff like that. So yeah.
Yeah, I just wanted to add, so I walked out with confidence and I did roll my eye. Yes, I understand. But maybe I rolled my eyes because at that time I was confused. Like I, was just finishing, I want someone respectful, ambitious, and he popped. So I assumed that maybe he was disrespectful or maybe he was not ambitious. And then of course the other balloons followed.
Hmm.
But do you see, right? Do you see that rolling your eyes at that specific time and the
Cause that
way you
effect.
did it as well? It was like a film.
It
It's
was
like
a
a movie.
nasty look. I ain't even
It
gonna
was
lie.
nasty, right?
It was real
It was
nasty.
like
It was nasty.
whoa.
You know,
So do you understand why some of the guys felt the way that they felt watching
Yes,
it back?
I totally understand. If I could go back, I wouldn't have done that.
So it's the eye roll that basically took you out, realistic. So it
Yes.
wasn't really like your attitude, really. It was mostly the eye roll.
Yeah, like I said, it was a temperaments. It was a facial expression temperaments for me. That's what I said exactly. That's what took me out. That's why I popped. When she did that, I was like, oh yeah, this girl here is it's gonna be too much. And she had all the temperaments to go with it. I was like, nah, I'm done. I'm cool.
Yeah, you were making facial expressions as well, and you
Right,
was
right.
okay to
Let's get onto that. Let's get onto that as
yeah.
well. I'm not. Throughout the whole show, you and Sean were like best buddies.
Me? No.
Chichi Chata. Yes.
Kiki
What are you
and
saying?
the
Me?
whole
What do you
episode.
mean? Like he wasn't involved? You and him was just chatting throughout the whole show. And
No,
at
let
Ahmad,
me tell you what was happening.
I don't think I
one
was
So
second,
as
one
every time a
second,
involved as
girl
it
Ahmad,
walk out,
looks.
one second, Ahmad.
oh,
You was
okay.
very hurt when she made that comment about your nose ring. And what else? He said it's the
She said
nose
nose
ring.
ring
Oh,
and what?
and the earrings. I see he don't have it in today.
Yeah, I mean, I'm in the house. I'm not out right now.
No
My nose
chill.
ring in though, but I don't keep
No
earrings in
chill,
all day.
Jara.
Why did that get to you?
It's the nose ring and the earrings for me.
Okay.
It's a no.
Hey, everybody got, you know.
Listen, like I said, I'm used to this. I'm used to the clapback. It was just hilarious to me because when you asked her that, for her to say that, like I get this every day. People call me pretty boy, they call me all these type of things. I'm cool. I know who I am, so there's no problem. You know, I wear hoop earrings. I got 5 sets of hoop earrings. This is a permanent nose earring. This can't come out. So, you know, this is my look.
Okay.
So I mean, it was just hilarious for her to say that's the only thing she had to respond so quickly on. You know, I was like, okay, all right, cool. What's next? Anything else to say? That's what I was like.
Yeah, Sean, what did you want to say about your best buddy here? You two was talking throughout the whole show.
No, I was just saying that I don't I was probably not as involved as it looked like. I feel like, and I ain't trying to throw shade on bro, but I feel like he was a little talkative, and you know what I'm saying, I'm not mean or nothing, so I responded, but I feel like I wasn't keying or nothing like that.
So Ahmad was instigating this. This is what we're hearing.
That's crazy. That's crazy. I mean,
I'm just being honest.
no,
There's
I mean,
always one person. Every episode, there's always one person that does this, and there's always somewhere in the front all the time. But I mean, at least you guys was respectful. The way that
That's what I was
you
trying
carried
to do
yourself.
for
It
sure.
wasn't like annoying. Some people they'll be trying to jump out in the screen so you can see them and stuff like that.
oh
So at
no,
least you stayed in
no,
your.
I pretty much was just pointing out things I seen on the ladies. I was just like, oh, you see that? You know, look at her shoe. Oh, look at her feet. I'm saying stuff like that. So, like, we was the first person to see them because we in the front of the line. So we see the ladies come out first. The back of the line, we don't see because we right there.
Yeah.
So I was just letting them know, hey, look at that. Oh, look what she
Yeah, it was nothing
stuff like
crazy.
that. So
Okay, so kind of a question for Jara. So after, the episode came out, were you shocked by some of the comments you were seeing or any messages or anything that you're receiving?
So I mean, a lot of people were saying that I have an attitude, and I see how. Well, I now see how that was shown by the eye roll.
Mm-hmm.
I don't have an attitude at all. I mean, not all the time, but
Okay.
I mean, as far as comments, I mean, they were commenting about my hair. I mean, it was humid in Arizona, okay, and that was actually my real hair. This is actually the same hairstyle, and yeah, my hair was just fuzzy in the back. I just needed to go like that. That's all I needed to do. But okay, yeah.
I was gonna say, as far as like for the attitude, do you see what they were saying though when people be like, you were very dismissive. I want to say like once you were done with someone, you were like next, and I was like, oh, okay, let's just move on then. I don't know if you were uncomfortable and you're ready to get out of there. Is that what that also was?
Okay.
It's a no.
Hey, everybody got, you know.
Next.
Oh my. Okay, let's go over here.
It was just kind of like for me, like they rejected me. They didn't want to hear me out. So I didn't feel the need to actually sit there and hold conversations and like after you pop your balloon, after you rejected me.
Okay.
Okay.
If I could, can I add to that situation real quick?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I just, me personally, I felt like, coming on the show, you shouldn't expect to have everybody's balloon, held on to. Like, you should expect to get some pops. So when that first initial pop happened and you rolled your eyes, it was just like, and that's why I said you was extra or you felt kind of extra to me. So that was kind of my first initial process, thought process with that. But at the same time, I did feel like, you know, you were being yourself. So again, it was just like, maybe just a little too much for me. So that's all.
Okay.
Okay. Let's actually talk about makeup, right? Because it seems to be like a lot of guys have an issue with females wearing makeup on the show. Like Ahmad actually did say to Ashley as well that she's wearing too much makeup, right? What is too much for you, Ahmad?
Like I don't like the beat face where you contour your face, you contour your nose, you contour your cheeks, so where you look different. Like right now, Ashley, this is what she should have did. For my opinion, on the show, this right here, this is what
But
I
she
like.
still looks the same though. Do you get what she was trying to say?
Nah, I mean,
You can
I
see
mean,
that
listen,
this is
I don't think so. I
Ashley.
think she look better now. I think she actually look better. I think this is a simple look. This is what I'm into. This is the type of woman I talk to. I'm into
But
the athletic world, so
you
women I talk
also
to, they're wearing no makeup all day.
you also kind of judge the book by its cover. Like Arlette sometimes opens up the floor to like the lineup, and it's like if you had questions, you didn't even think to bot. You literally assume you were like you look like you wear makeup every day, and that statement to me. I didn't want to. I held back a lot, but I was laughing because I was like, "Ooh, my friend's gonna come for you." Because all my friends, literally, they was blowing up my phone. They was like, "If he only knew." But just having the simplicity of just asking versus assuming, I thought that kind of took me aback. So
No, you're right. I could have asked first. I'm just like you said, the show is a different environment. You're not
Right,
used to being
right,
like that,
right.
and I'm just going off first impression. So as soon as I saw it, like I say, I see what I see. I on my checklist, I know what I don't like, and that's all. I was like, okay, that's all it was.
Let me ask you guys something here. Do you not feel like sometimes you be popping
just pop.
because you're in that environment? Like that pop that you had right there is like it was probably unnecessary because you could have asked,
Right.
a simple
Yeah,
question. But you
I
don't feel
agree.
like sometimes that when you just hear one thing, you feel like because you're in the game, let me pop because I'm in the game. Is that how some of you respond to certain things you hear?
Well, I
No,
can say with Ashley, I probably popped
A little
prematurely.
bit.
Definitely did. But I
Okay.
mean, it was. I mean, it would have been popped anyway. So like I said, I wasn't attracted. I'm sorry.
No, I know. It's
Honest,
cool. No, that's cool.
I
You don't got
wasn't
to be sorry.
attracted. I'm with Jay. I didn't care for the nose ring and that and
Nah, yeah. That's what I say. Everybody got their own preference. It's
yeah,
cool.
it was exactly it was a preference.
Yeah,
So it was
I
like
was saying.
you gave me like pretty boy.
And I say everybody think that of me. That's what I get
Yeah,
down here in Miami because the way I
yeah,
dress. But it's total
yeah,
opposite. But it's cool.
yeah,
That's how I come
So
off. That's the way I dress. I dress real clean.
yeah.
so Ahmad,
I
you
present
have
myself.
your own gym right in Miami, but
Yes,
you also was where was you working before?
I was a police officer, a sheriff.
Okay.
Oh,
Wow.
cool.
That's yeah. So we've actually had a lot of police officers on the show, and we had some sheriffs as well. So how is that right from how you used to be in law enforcement to now, dating wise? Like, is there a difference?
Yeah, because back when I was in law enforcement, it took a big toll on my mental health. That's the reason I left. I was very anxious. Couldn't really be on the outside like that. Everywhere I went, I feel like it was a target on my back. You working with detainees all the time. You see these guys on the streets when you out. They be on South Beach. They be everywhere you be. So I was never comfortable, and then like and stuff like that. And it kind of like breaks down your social life because you can't trust anyone. You don't know who to trust. So what I was finding myself doing was dating in the department, trying to just date people, my coworkers, and that never worked either because we was clashing all the time. So yeah, now that I'm out of there, now that I left 2 years ago, I was able to get my mind right. I'm able to flourish and start seeing life in a different lens.
Okay.
So yeah.
All right. Let's move on now to Kevin. Right. So Kevin, did you come on the show to find friends?
Yeah, I love travel and fitness as well, which you're into.
Yes,
Let me ask you, you said that you like to live wild, more on the live life on the
on the
wild
wild side,
side.
yes.
Okay, speak to that. What do you mean by that?
So I like to do wild, crazy shit.
Okay,
I
like
jumped
what?
out of a plane.
Okay,
I went skydiving, solo trips, very like facing my fears and like, just being down for whatever.
cool, cool,
Yes.
cool. I like the A plus on your shoulder.
Yes,
I'm
thank you.
sapiosexual, so you gotta mentally stimulate me
Yes.
too, right? So do you have or children, or do you want any?
I do not have any children currently, but yes, I would love to have kids
Okay.
if it, comes about, if I find like the right partner and we're able to grow, why not like start a family?
Okay.
Yeah.
Marriage as well?
Yes,
Okay.
I'm definitely into marriage and like the traditional lifestyle, growing and building
Okay.
with a partner.
Just like one last question, since you know about the wildlife and all.
Yes.
I would say I have an eclectic interest. I like to get out and have fun and turn up from time to time too.
Okay.
So if we're to do that on average, like, are you more on the we knocking and bucking ski side, or are we chilling? Are we listening to Frank? More relaxed? What do you like?
Oh, I'm down for whatever.
Okay.
Like, that's what I mean. Like, if you want to turn up, we could turn up. If you want to chill, we could chill. If you want to, like, do hiking and be out in nature, we could do that. If you want to be out in the tropical, like beach, party, fun life, we could also do that. Like, I'm very versatile, very diverse. And, yeah.
I got you. Okay.
Are
I'm
you
gonna have
about to
to,
pop?
yeah.
Okay. And
Why are you
is that?
popping?
Why I'm popping is because actually think you're very attractive.
Yeah.
We have some stuff in common. I just didn't, when you walked out, and again, I do find you attractive, I just didn't feel that chemistry as far as like romantically. But I think you're really a dope person. I'd love to connect maybe on a friendship level if you're open to that.
Oh, yeah,
But
that's it.
we're strongly advised to be in.
I don't.
We're
I did not. My friends were loud, so maybe I missed that part. That is hilarious.
So Kevin, obviously this is not pop the balloon and find friends. My question is right. Why? Because it felt like you was kind of getting her hopes up. You
Like it
know,
seemed like he was interested,
yeah, it
right?
seems like you was interested in her, and you're asking all these questions, diving into a lot of like deep questions, right? So when I'm filming, I'm thinking, okay, this guy has real interest in her.
Mm.
She's probably thinking that as well. Now, for you to now pop and say it's because you see her as a friend, right? When she came out, why didn't you pop straight away?
I said that I found her attractive, Jara, but that I didn't feel something romantically. I remember when we first came on, you told us to really be intentional, right?
Mm-hmm.
Looking back at the clip now, I can definitely see how it seemed like I was trying to lead Jara on, which, wasn't maybe the right way to go about it, to continue to ask questions. But the one thing I love about the show is that it gives us the platform to hopefully connect with someone. But I was also aware, kind of in the back of my mind, that it's not Kevin's balloon show. So it has the speed dating aspect to it, where all we have initially, right, is the look. And then hopefully by the prompts that are presented, by the opportunities to ask different questions, we can peel some of those layers back.
Yeah. My assistant actually told me that apparently you and her went out on a dinner date.
We did, yeah. So after the show wrapped, a lot of us went out together to a lounge. We hung out a little bit more. And then I was in Phoenix for another day. So just to kind of like also be fair about the situation, because it didn't seem like I was just leading her on. We did have some things in common. We did go out. We went to dinner just before I flew out, and just to get to know each other a little bit more.
Okay. How did it go?
It went very well. Like Jara, like her personality, as you can see, like on the video as well, very open, very energetic. We don't communicate as often, maybe like once a week or so, if that. But the dinner date went well. But it's also, obviously the distance aspect is work and other factors. And I'm
Mhm.
also one thing that I would say about myself that I could probably do better in, I try not to force things. I try to have things go organically. So if, for instance, I reach out or we set something up and it doesn't work out, that's cool too. But I'm not one to like, if it doesn't organically go a certain direction, force it, if that makes sense. I might reach out to you and, but after that, we'll just have to see where it goes. But Jara's cool, and yeah, but probably, more so towards a friendship, but you never know.
I mean, you gave it a try. That's good.
Yeah, I was trying to juxtapose it all that with again, like giving people a chance because
Yeah.
as this show, as we'll probably talk about later, also showed, right? If you always go off looks, you don't necessarily always find your match either. So I was just trying to keep an open mind and heart about it and see where things go and be fair.
Okay. And what did you guys all think about that segment?
Yeah,
I thought he liked her. I thought he was gonna match with her. The way he was talking to her, I was looking at
you
him like,
know,
okay. I was like, all right, that
I
boy, he
saw, I
going
saw, I
in. That
saw
boy.
Armand. He gave him the look when you're looking at your bro and be like, yeah, you like the girl. I saw the
I,
look.
I'm telling you, I thought he was in there.
Yeah, after watching it back, I'm surprised you popped because I'm like, oh, they feeling each other. She was, she likes to travel, and so
I seen it was like a match made in heaven for them two. That's what I thought. I'm looking like, man, got another match.
But Kevin,
Match.
do you see what people see? You know, like when they see that, they think that, oh, it's a good storyteller here. Like you're both aligned with each other. So that's basically what this is not pop the balloon or find friends means. Because you're not gonna fall in love with the person that you meet straight away. You're meant to see if you have something that you can both work on, match, and then offline see how you can build on that. People seem to think that they're gonna come on the show and they're gonna fall in love like this is love at first sight.
A lot of people think
It
that.
it might happen, but most of the time it's not. You have to,
at least put
get to
in
know
the
the
effort.
person.
hmm
100%. Yeah, and actually, a friend of mine, after the show aired, when we talked, she called me and she told me like, "Hey, that's why you go on a first date and you find out, right?"
Mm.
So looking back, I definitely see that. But yeah, moving with intention. I wasn't trying to lead her on, which is why I'm glad that we did connect after, just to have that opportunity to ask each other some more questions, for
No, that's
sure.
good. That's good. When my assistant told me that, I was happy. I was like, okay, cool.
Yeah.
At least that whole statement, that whole segment can go. That's cool. All right, cool. All right, let's move on to Sean. Right, because you did something else as well on the show that was very wild.
Cause an uproar.
Let's play this clip.
Any final question between the two of you before we determine if this is a match?
I'm a pop. Sorry. Yeah. The hesitation kind of threw me off, and then the comment you made earlier about hair, it kind of stuck with me.
Okay.
So yeah, it was like, I kind of just felt like maybe hey, you ain't want me for real. So yeah.
Arlett's like, girl. Anyway,
Arlo was so over it.
girl, because why did he do that? Sean, I think what got me in that moment was you said she made a comment about hair, but she made that comment like round one when she came
For
out. So
sure.
if that was something that was
Yeah, she
like
did.
in your head,
Hmm.
why was that not a pop right away? Like
It
if
it
that's
wasn't
something that bothered you so much.
for sure. It wasn't a pop right away because I was like attracted to her, so I didn't in that moment want to count myself out right away. But like once like the hesitation happened, it was like that plus the hair thing. It was like okay, she already mentioned the hair thing, so I switch my hair up all the time. So it was like that was just something that just stuck with me, like I said. And then the hesitation, so it was just like I wish I would have popped sooner, but I also heard not to pop, give her a chance, and I did, and so it was like just like at what moment do I pop?
Sean, now you had multiple chances to pop.
Agree, agree, agree. But until the
And
hesitation came, it was like,
me telling you guys, give her a chance. That's because people always do this. They'll be there. Oh, she doesn't really like me. I'm popping. But it's like being in that
and that's
spot. It's
that's
really
how I
hard to
felt.
make a.
That's how I felt. So,
Have you
and I,
guys
yeah,
all have you guys all ever been to the movies before?
for sure.
Of
Yeah,
course.
like
So you
just
see,
yeah.
yeah, just the movies, right? You go and watch a movie. You see, like you go and watch an action film. There's a lot of dramatics on in action films, right? That's what it felt like with this whole segment because the moment all they ask you to come to the front, you say, "Oh, let me go," and then as soon as you get there, I'm a pop, pow. So do you understand? Like, it's like, are you guys planning? Like, is this a movie that you're planning to wait till the end to come to
No,
the wall and then say,
that's
"Oh"?
not no, that's not how I planned on it going. That I wish it could
Because
have
you
went
know
different. And
because I feel like the ending scene is like if you get to that segment and you pop, it's kind of like you should have just popped before you even get there. You
For
feel
sure.
me? And I feel like it's the laugh that you did
Mm.
that made it even worse.
Mhm.
Like it was like planned.
Right? Because it's
Right, right,
like I'm
right.
a
I get
pop,
you.
and then everyone's looking shocked.
No, I get you. I get you.
Sorry. Yeah.
I mean, personally, like I'm just, I guess, an awkward person that I felt the energy, the negative energy, and it was just like, oh, so it just, you know what I'm saying, it made me chuckle, and that's just, I guess, how I cope with that. But anybody that know me knows that I'm genuine, and I meant no harm behind that. I was not trying to, embarrass her or anything like that. It was just like, it was just a bad timing, maybe a misunderstanding. If that, it was just, yeah. So I'm sorry it went the way it went, but that's what happened.
Let me say this as well. All of you people that came on that episode are so mature, are so down to earth, like
Oh,
all of you.
thank you.
You feel me? And it's
Appreciate it.
like I get it. Sometimes when you're in that studio, you act a way. You're like, oh wait, I didn't feel like it's gonna go this way, but it did. You feel me? So looking back on the show, what could you have done different, Sean, in that situation?
I think when I felt like I wanted to pop, I should have popped. Like I think that as soon as I felt like she hesitated, I think that's when I really wanted to pop. But like I gave her a chance, you know what I mean?
There was quite a long time that passed before I
Right,
told you guys, don't pop, let her think. Because I always
right,
know when people take too long, it always happens. So I feel
exactly.
like people in the comments are like, oh, Arlette told him not to pop. That's why he didn't pop. And it's like, no, guys, there was time. He had time before I even made
It
that
was
comment.
time. It was time,
Yeah.
and
So
yeah,
that's
I get
why
that
I think there was more frustration on my end and in the comments because it's like, you had time,
for
you
sure.
know? And so when you got up there and you popped and then you laughed about it, it was kind of like, are you being serious or is this a joke? Like, it was really weird, you know?
Right. No,
And
I
then
agree.
like,
It looked bad. It looked bad. So.
yeah.
And I knew
And then
that.
for
And even afterwards,
Ashley,
I apologized. I told her
Yeah,
like I
yeah.
didn't, I wasn't trying to embarrass her or anything like that. It was just like just bad timing.
Definitely
No,
give
that's
him
good.
yeah,
Yeah, even after that segment, I saw from his face like he really wished it didn't go
go
the
that
way it
way.
did,
Yeah.
Hmm.
and that's how I knew that he didn't mean it like
Hmm.
that. So
And then, yeah, so as for Ashley, girl, you getting dragged in the comments too. People are like, Ashley's decision making, we're questioning it, this, that, and the third.
I didn't
Because
expect that to happen.
people, yeah, because people were saying in the comments, like, you had so much in common with the first guy, but you ended up going with the other guy. Talk to us, sis. What's going on?
I kind of already knew I was gonna have to explain myself. Okay, so I'll say this in Sean's defense, he is right. I did hesitate, and I'm gonna
Yeah.
be honest, Arlette. I feel like I need a redo. No, I feel like if I'm being fully transparent, I just wasn't the biggest fan of the lineup in itself.
Okay.
And so when I did come out, just right off the back, me and Sean locked eyes. Sean was honestly the only person that I really found myself attracted to or connected with, and we kept connecting. And so that's ultimately was like my final indicator as to why I chose him over the other guy. And
Okay.
though me and Vince had a lot in common, my people are probably gonna come for me for this too, but this is obviously nothing of his own fault. These are his natural features, but I typically date like more mature looking men with the facial hair, look a little bit older. So, as the more I was asking questions and talking to Vince to me it was like talking to my little brother. I have a 16-year-old brother, so it was like talking to it was like, oh, you're so cute, And
Okay.
so it was like I'm not about to waste this man's time. Like I'm not attracted. I was instantly turned off as soon as he began speaking to me because he just the voice and everything for me just didn't I didn't connect with it. I didn't connect with it and like the reason for the hesitation was it was like, okay, these are my options. This is all, like
Okay.
I have these two options. I can either go with a guy that obviously it was very obvious, like he checks all the boxes of what I look for in a man, yes, but the feelings just wasn't there. It was like and I didn't want to waste this man's time. Like,
So
all
my
crazy,
thing is,
like,
yeah,
all the
my
things
thi-
he's
my
doing.
my thing is, yeah, ladies. A lot of ladies do this, right?
Yeah.
What are you hesitating on if
You
the
already
person
know
that
what
you
you like or
want
don't
is
like.
right there? Why are you taking 30
Because
seconds
we
to a
are in the
minute to make your
gym.
decision?
Like you said, we're in a show, and it was like, dang, this is guy meets all the qualities of what I look for, but if I'm being honest, it's not there for me. And then for Sean, I hesitated with Sean because I didn't like the way Sean presented himself. We talked about it, we joked about it, but Sean was dressed like the first day of high school, and it did give like F boy vibes for me. So I was like, dang, like had you presented yourself in a better way, it would have been a no brainer. But you just the fit was fly, but for like a date night, and just the way I came, it just wasn't there. But I went with my gut, and my gut was like, you keep looking at this guy. I just thought it would have been unfair to the other guy to like have my eyes on this person and not be looking at this person.
But
But
this
when
is the thing, though, right? This is the thing. An outfit can be changed
Yeah.
from Sean,
exactly,
right? Okay,
exactly,
it can be changed, right?
yeah,
That other guy, you're not interested in him
At all.
because there's no beard.
it was a
No, let's
beard.
be let's be
I
honest.
felt like
You
I was talking
said
to a
you
teenage
s-
boy,
let's
but
let's be
he was
honest. You
cool.
said you prefer a mature man with facial hair. You're not even into that guy. So
Yeah.
your only obvious option is to pick Sean
Sean.
straight away. You see this show? If you make one mistake, then stuff like that can happen. Sean
Yeah.
now feels like, okay, now I can also pop because she hesitated.
Right.
Yeah. Like I said, I hesitated because both of them just it wasn't what I was wanting at the end, and I didn't know I could maybe like
You
pop.
could have popped both.
You
Yeah,
could have
I
popped
didn't know
Yeah.
both.
that. So I've never like I said, I don't watch the show enough to be
You didn't
like,
know that. BM said if you're not feeling anyone, pop it. Pop anybody. He
yeah.
told you guys that.
Like I don't like I said, I watch like clips, but I don't really see how the show goes. So naturally, I thought we were just gonna come up there, ask a couple more questions. But like I saw, Sean didn't even like allow us to get up there to ask any more questions. To find out anything else. And one of the main questions, the last question I wanted to ask was like, where are they from? Because I didn't ask that, right? And I probably would have popped on Sean then, because come to find out, we did hang out afterwards. So we like Kevin said, we all hung out. And we ended up having a good time. And then like me and Sean, we ended up going to like a bar and hanging out even more. Like he's actually, in his defense, he is a cool guy. He did come
Thank
up
you.
to me and apologize. He instantly felt bad. He was like, I shouldn't have done that. I could have handled it a different way. So immediately after, I gave him a hard time at first. He's like, can I get the info? I was like, nah, stand on business. But we ended up being like real cool afterwards. And at the end of the day, like I said, we did connect, and it showed aftermath. But he's cool. We haven't really spoken since then, but again, that's like he's in Chicago, I'm in LA. It just naturally for me wouldn't have worked, and I'm probably sure for him as well. But he's a cool guy.
So Jara, what did you think about that segment?
Um, I feel like Sean could have popped earlier. Um, when he figured out that whatever it was, the hesitation, or maybe he could have popped on the braid thing. I don't know. But I do feel like that's also what Emmanuel did to me.
Okay. So you feel like you got popped on because you got walked up there as well. But I
Hmm.
feel like Emmanuel was giving it a chance. He was trying to talk to you, but you were still giving him all the sass, girl. He was trying.
I don't feel like I was giving him sass until
Really?
after he popped.
Yeah, you definitely
Hmm.
gave him some. You definitely said to him, you went 0 to 100 him as soon as he popped.
I'll say no.
Okay.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
It's okay
Why
because
is
I
it a
was gonna say
no?
no too.
Oh, okay. Why is it a no?
Because of that. You know what I'm saying? Because of that. I like it, but it's too much. You know what I'm
Okay,
saying?
yeah.
'Cause of that.
What's too much?
She a little attitude, but it's too much.
Attitude.
Take it.
And why were you gonna say no?
He's a cool guy. I like that he's ambitious, although I'm not sure about the fit. The pants look a little wrinkly, It is dressed to impress. My mama would have told me to iron my pants.
I feel it. Okay, that's cool.
What did everyone else feel about that segment with Emmanuel and
Jara.
Jara?
Um,
Uh, I felt
it
like
Yeah,
was
the
crazy.
clip.
I felt like he was gonna pop. I felt like he was gonna pop.
So
I was
Sean, you felt like he
surprised.
was gonna pop?
Yeah,
I was surprised that he even took it that far because when we was in the
yeah.
back, the type of guy he was playing, how he said he was, type of stuff he was into, that wasn't a match I thought was going to happen. But he even took it up there. He was being nice, asking questions, trying to get to that point. And like you said, she was on fire. And then once he popped, she just turned to a monster, talking about his pants, talking about the
The
iron, her
monster.
mom with the iron. I'm like, yo, I
She
couldn't
said,
believe it.
"Mama told me."
My mama said, come out the house with the iron. I'm like, man, I'm looking like, oh my God. I'm like, this, he just went ham. But I think Emmanuel was a nice guy. I think he did it. I think he had some. He was strong in his character, and he did not bend, despite all that. Couldn't have been me. I don't know. He's the man
Okay.
for it. But yeah, yeah, it
From a
was crazy.
girl's perspective, right?
Hmm.
And maybe I don't know. I want people like the age and she's still young, and I'm like she's young, but she's not that young. But I definitely think you could have. If this is who you are, then that's just who you are.
Hmm.
Looking at it back, and I don't know if the things were cut. It did look like you came in hot, and it was like at the end, it looked like, in my opinion, you was trying to have like a viral moment. It looked like just looking into the camera and trashing his pants. It didn't. I get it. It sucks to be rejected. I mean, hell, I look at me.
You're in the same position. Hmm.
I got rejected, but it was a different reaction. I think, especially as a woman, men really look at those things. So it's like maybe and now you're doing it on a platform. So it's like just kind of care however you want to view yourself or you want people to view you is how you should like carry yourself. So if it was the attitude, it was the sass, and it was just like ripping guys at the pants. Like, they don't know you, you don't know them. What they don't like, what they don't like, never take that personal. Like, own who you are, and if they don't like you, just know, like, be able to walk away on that platform and be like, I know what's for me will never pass me, and have that confidence, and just know, like, these men weren't it for me. And if just as much as these guys weren't into you, you weren't into them. So it's like, what difference it make? But to have an attitude about it or be upset about it, it's like, don't it's nothing to be upset about. Like, your man will find you. You know what I mean? Like,
Hmm.
don't let those things phase you. And that's why I think, there's people saying like, oh, like, she took that with grace. It's like, well, what's for
You
me
don't
is
know
for me.
him.
We weren't
Hmm.
supposed to be a match. It is what it is. Like, I came on here, I can at least say I tried, and it didn't work out. And now we're all cool, so
Right. If a guy came out like that, the way that Jara came out,
I'm
what do
popping.
you think? Okay.
I'm
Right.
popping. I'm popping because it's like, what did I do to you? You don't know me. I don't know you. Why are you ripping at me? Like, what's the attitude for? We here to have fun. We all are already in a vulnerable space. This is very already uncomfortable as is. We don't need to make it even more uncomfortable than what it already is. Let's just have fun, enjoy each other, and just get to know one another. And if it work out, cool. And if it don't, cool.
Hmm.
Yeah, I agree.
So I would just like to add, because everyone's saying maybe I came out hot. I came up with my head held high. I strutted in. I don't feel like that gave attitude. I was authentically myself. I wasn't attracted to the others. I mean, I told them I wasn't attracted. I mean, I gave Sean his props. But everyone's making it seem like, oh, she wasn't attracted to them because they rejected her. And I mean, I would say the y'all are saying maybe I have an attitude, but I was smiling, I was laughing. Like, unless I'm bipolar, I mean, maybe I didn't take it as having an attitude.
Like it was, like I said, from a woman's it was the next, it was like those things. So that's what people are talking about. Like when you do it's, I'm just saying, like, just word of advice from a woman to a woman, it's like if you doing stuff like that, yeah, it's gonna come off as giving an attitude, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
There wasn't much smiling either. It was just like, nope, he's not my type. Next.
It's not what you say; it's how you say it.
Yeah, it could be the tonality,
Right.
it's the facial expressions, it's all those things. So if you're not
At the
embodying
same
that,
time,
yeah.
I could tell that you was being yourself, and I can appreciate that, even though it
Yeah.
might have been extra for me. Like I definitely like you were being yourself, and I respect it.
Yeah, yeah. I think
Like
she
Can
was
I
being
ask?
herself.
Can I?
Just
I
we
want
had a
to
good time.
I
We
want
had
to
a
wrap
good
this up here. I want to ask you all a question before we leave. Do you feel like in this generation that we are respecting each other enough, the females and the males? Do you feel like there is respect in this generation?
I think there's a lack of respect.
I think so too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Why do you guys think that?
I just feel like now in the world, women now is taking on that masculine role, that super independent role. They're demasculating men. They feel like they could do everything by themselves. They don't need men for anything. So I feel like they putting men to the back burner, making them be more, trying to make them be more submissive. I feel like the gender roles is changing, at least trying to change. And I feel like people don't know the roles they're playing when it comes to relationships. So so I feel like that's where the lack of respect comes.
When it
Women don't
comes
respect
to
men.
Yeah, go ahead, Sean.
I was just gonna say when it just comes to respect itself, I feel like in regards to like the saying like in order to get respect, you got to give respect. I feel like everybody's kind of walking with a guard up and waiting for somebody else to kind of show them that respect before they give it in return instead of just going into something respectful, if that makes any kind of sense.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Let's hear from Kevin.
Yeah, even without putting it through the lens of like necessary gender dynamics, to Ahmad and Sean's point, you got to self-respect yourself like first, you know what I mean? I feel like if you respect yourself, that's going to resonate how you treat other people as well. And I feel like that's kind of missing in society, as do I. I'm not sure. Maybe it's anxiety, maybe because of social media, false expectations, or maybe it's just because people don't take mental health serious enough, don't know how to overcome certain things to deal with themselves. But I feel like respecting yourself first is going to carry over in respecting others.
Okay.
Okay. And then Ashley?
I'm sorry, my internet went out, so can you repeat the question?
Yeah, I think you guys had all said like respect is lacking. We're just trying to see why you think that for both ends, male and female.
I think one being social media. You got a lot of people that have, they got their podcasts now, and it's giving everybody this platform to speak on their opinions. You got people that think they have all these options. You have people that, every these podcasts are talking about gender roles and females and males, and everyone thinks they're an expert in this field all of a sudden. You have women that, well, I think a big part of it too is, what we install in our minds. You got a lot of music that women are down talking men, you got men down talking women. So I think it's a lot of just influence of just misinformation and opinions and music just that are just influencing this culture of just, how people think these days. And, you tend to be what you are, what you consume. So you got to be
Right.
really careful and intentional with what you're listening to,
Mm-hmm.
especially nowadays more than anything.
And Jara, what about on your end?
Yeah, I would say I agree with Ashley. It's most definitely like social media, the music, and things of that sort.
Okay.
Okay. I would like to say that this is the example that I like to give people when we can all come here and speak about things on a level and we can all be cool with each other at the end of it. Because our platform is not like you come here and you argue with people and then you have enemies.
Yeah.
Our platform is you come here, even though we have these segments, we can still speak about it and know how we can work on these situations rather than, oh, let's all just fight against each other. Because at the end of the day, guys, men need women and women need men. How was we all created? How was we all born to this earth? You feel me? So, and some men as well, I must say, some men forget that. Like, women, they deliver you. They
What
they're the ones that you feel me. A lot of men are
Wouldn't
forgetting
be here
that,
without them.
and then for you to go out your way to disrespect them. If you see another man that's in love with their wife, you're calling him what's that word?
A
A
simp.
simp. Make it make sense. And but also as well, ladies as well. Not every single man is trash. You need a man. If you want to build a family, have kids and stuff like that. So we all need to get on. Let's get on with it. Stop all this gender wars and stuff like that. Please stop. All right, guys.
Yeah.
So I want to ask you guys, who wants to come back?
Who would want to come
Who
back?
wants to come back?
Yeah,
Yeah, like on Pop the Balloon. Like, would you guys like to come back? Who
Yeah,
would?
I
I
would
would
be
like to come
open
back.
to it, but probably not until the end of the year to next year if I didn't find no one by then, only because of work and travel.
trust me. We probably have
Kevin.
about
Kevin, I hope you find somebody by then. Come on now.
yeah,
Hope,
yeah.
I mean, but que será. I'll let you know if it'll happen. It'll happen. I'll keep an open mind and open heart. But I appreciate you guys giving us a platform, and I would be just in the future because right now work and travels. I'm
Yeah.
busy.
Okay.
Okay.
Well, everyone comment down below who you think we should bring back on the show. I want to see your comments,
Yes.
and then I'll see who I can bring back. Well, guys, thank you for joining us on this podcast.
Yes. Thank you all so much.
This was great.
Yeah. Yeah. It was a pleasure having you all back.
Thank you. Thank
Thank you
you.
so much for taking time to speak with us, letting us get to know you guys a little bit. And everyone at home, thank you so much for tuning in. We'll catch y'all next time.
All right.
Appreciate you guys.